Ladies and gentlemen, my dear brothers and sisters, I stand before you today with a truth carved deep into the walls of time. There is no success without God. You may chase wealth, you may gather fame, but without the divine hand guiding your steps, all you build will crumble like dust in the wind. See, success is not measured by gold nor counted in coins. It is the peace in your heart when the world is loud, the strength in your spirit when trials come knocking. It is the light that shines within you when darkness threatens to swallow you whole. And that light, my friends, is God. A tree does not rise without its roots, and a river does not flow without its source. You cannot reach the mountain's peak without trusting the ground beneath you. God is that foundation, that source, that steady rock on which all true success stands. Now, some will say, but I have worked hard. I have built with my own two hands. My name is known, my power is great. Ah, but tell me, when the storms of life rage, when the winds of doubt and fear howl at your door, who holds you steady? Who whispers strength into your weary soul? It is not the money, not the applause, not the titles, they will all fade, but the presence of God that remains. I have seen the mighty fall, not because they lacked talent, but because they forgot the very hands that shaped them. I have seen the forgotten rise, not because they were lucky, but because they walked with faith, with trust, with a purpose greater than themselves. So I say to you today, build your dreams, chase your goals, work with all your might. But do not forget the one who breathes life into your vision. For success without God is a castle built on sand, but success with God, that is a kingdom that will stand forever. Success is not just material wealth. Too often we are led to believe that success is defined by numbers in a bank account, the size of a house, or the weight of a crown. Society will have you thinking that the more you have, the greater you are. But I ask you, what is the worth of riches when the soul is empty? What is the use of power when your spirit is weary? I have known people who had everything that the world could offer: money, status, influence, and yet, when night fell, when the crowds disappeared, they were alone with nothing but their fears and regrets. Their hearts were restless, their minds never at peace, because material things cannot fill a spiritual void. A person can sit in a mansion and still be imprisoned by anxiety. A person can wear the finest silk and still feel cold inside. A person can own the world and still feel lost. Because success is not about what you own, it is about what owns you. And if greed, pride, and selfish ambition own you, you are not successful, you are shackled. But when faith, purpose, and love fill your heart, you are richer than any king, stronger than any army, and greater than any name written in lights. We must understand that the things of this world are temporary. Money comes and goes. Fame is fleeting. One day you are celebrated, the next you are forgotten. But what remains? The impact you leave, the love you show, the faith you carry, that is the true measure of success. A heart that is at peace, a spirit that stands firm in trials, a soul that trusts in God. Even when the road is uncertain, these are the treasures that cannot be stolen, cannot be bought, and will never lose value. So I say to you, do not chase after things that rust and fade. Chase after what is eternal. Chase after the presence of God in your life. Let Him be the source of your success, and you will find that even in moments when the world says you have little, you will know in your heart that you have everything. I have seen the mighty fall, not because they lacked talent, but because they forgot the very hands that shaped them. I have seen the forgotten rise, not because they were lucky, but because they walked with faith, with trust, with a purpose greater than themselves. God is the foundation of all lasting success. It is easy to believe that success comes from ambition, from intelligence, from long hours of work. And yes, those things have their place, but they are not the foundation. They are the bricks, the layers, the effort, but without a solid ground to stand on. Even the tallest tower will fall. A house built on sand will not withstand the storm. A tree without deep roots will topple in the wind. And a person who chases success without God will eventually find that all they built was fragile, easily broken, easily lost. There are many who rise quickly in the eyes of the world, stars that shine bright, businesses that grow overnight, names that seem to be everywhere. But time has a way of revealing what is built on truth and what is built on illusion. A person may gain the whole world, but if their foundation is built on pride, greed, or selfishness, they will one day find themselves standing on shaky ground. The higher they climb without God, the harder they fall when trouble comes. Because trouble does come, my friends. No matter how powerful, how rich, how accomplished a person may seem, life has a way of testing the strength of what they have built. But when your foundation is God, you cannot be shaken. Even when the world around you is uncertain, even when challenges rise up like mountains before you, you will stand firm. Because your strength is not in what you own. It is not in the approval of others. It is in the unshakable presence of the one who made you. With God as your foundation, success is not measured by temporary achievements, but by the legacy you leave, the faith you carry, and the light you bring into the world. Look around at history. The most powerful kingdoms have fallen. The greatest names have faded. The richest empires have turned to dust. Why? Because they were built on things that do not last. But the work of those who build with God, who live with purpose beyond themselves, whose success is rooted in faith, those names, those deeds, those legacies endure. The greatest success is not the one that brings you personal gain, but the one that changes lives, that uplifts others, that glorifies something higher than yourself. So when you dream, when you build, when you chase after success, ask yourself, what is your foundation? Is it wealth? Is it fame? Is it your own strength? Or is it something eternal? Because success that stands the test of time, success that brings true fulfillment, success that does not break under pressure, that kind of success can only be built on God. Hard work alone is not enough. Yes, hard work is important. It shapes you, strengthens you, teaches you discipline. But let us not be fooled into thinking that effort alone determines success. If hard work alone were enough, every farmer who labors from dawn to dusk would be a millionaire. If hard work alone were enough, every mother who sacrifices sleep for her children's future would never struggle. If hard work alone were enough, then the streets would not be filled with men and women who gave their all but still came up short. Hard work is the seed, but without the rain, without the sun, without the right soil, that seed will not grow. And my friends, God is the rain, God is the sun, God is the fertile ground in which true success is planted. You can work, you can sweat, you can push yourself to exhaustion, but if God does not bless the work of your hands, all your labor will be in vain. Look around you. There are those who work endlessly yet remain stuck, while others seem to rise effortlessly. Some may call it luck, some may call it chance, but I tell you it is favor, the kind of favor that only comes from walking with God. Favor can take you where effort alone cannot. Favor can open doors that no amount of hustle can unlock. Favor can place you in rooms you never thought you'd enter, give you victories you never imagined possible. Now, do not misunderstand me. I am not saying you should sit and wait for blessings to fall from the sky. No, faith without works is dead. You must still put in the effort. You must still give your best. But understand this, your best is not enough without God's hand upon it. Your strength has limits, but God's power does not. Your knowledge has boundaries, but His wisdom is infinite. Your plans may fail, but His purpose never does. There will be times when you do everything right, and yet success seems distant. You will study, prepare, work late into the night, wake up before the sun, and still feel like you are falling behind. But remember, success is not just about what you do, it is also about when and how God moves. There is a divine timing for everything. And when you are aligned with God, He will take your efforts, no matter how small, and turn them into something greater than you could have ever imagined. So work hard, yes, but also pray. Strive, yes, but also trust. Plan, yes, but also surrender. Because hard work alone will take you far, but with God you will go beyond. Challenges reveal true success. It is easy to stand tall when the skies are clear, when the road is smooth, when everything falls into place. But the true measure of success is not found in comfort, it is found in struggle. It is in the moments when the wind blows against you, when the storms rage, when the walls close in. That is when we see what a person is truly made of. A tree may look strong in the summer when the sun is shining, but it is not until the winter comes, when the cold tries to strip it bare, that we see if its roots run deep. A ship may appear grand in the harbor, polished and pristine, but its true strength is only known when it sails into the storm. And so it is with success. Its foundation is only tested when life brings its trials. Some believe success is about never facing hardships, about living a life free of struggle. But I tell you, real success is not about avoiding the storm, it is about standing through it. And you cannot stand if your success is built on shallow ground, if your success is built on pride, on greed, on the fleeting approval of others, then the first strong wind will tear it down. But if your success is built on faith, on purpose, on the unwavering strength of God, then no challenge can break you. History has shown us time and time again that the strongest people are not those who had an easy path, but those who faced obstacles and overcame them. The greatest leaders, the most inspiring voices, the ones who changed the world, they were tested by fire. They faced betrayal, rejection, failure, pain, but instead of letting challenges destroy them, they let those challenges refine them. They did not run from the storm, they stood in the rain, knowing that God was their shelter. When you walk with God, your challenges do not define you, they prepare you. When life closes one door, it is because God is leading you to another. When you lose something, it is because He is making space for something greater. Every trial you endure is not meant to break you, but to strengthen you, to shape you, to reveal the depth of your faith. Success without struggle is an illusion. If you have never been tested, how will you know your strength? If you have never lost, how will you appreciate gain? If you have never walked in the dark, how will you recognize the light? God allows challenges not to harm us, but to remind us where our true power lies. Not in money, not in status, not in human praise, but in Him. So when you face difficulties, do not despair. Do not question your worth or your purpose. Instead, stand firm and know that you are being shaped, refined, and prepared for something greater. For true success is not about never falling, it is about rising every time you do, with faith stronger than before. Gratitude keeps you connected to success. It is easy to believe that success is about moving forward, about reaching for more, about climbing higher. And while growth is a natural part of life, there is a dangerous trap that many fall into, the belief that what they have is never enough. They spend so much time looking at what they have yet to achieve that they forget to appreciate what they already have. But true success is not just about what you gain. It is about the ability to recognize and cherish the blessings you have been given. When you are grateful, you acknowledge that your success is not your own doing. You recognize the hands that have lifted you, the doors that have opened for you, the grace that has carried you through. Gratitude reminds you that every step you take is not just a product of your effort, but a reflection of God's guidance. But the moment gratitude leaves your heart, arrogance begins to creep in. And arrogance is the beginning of downfall. Many have reached great heights only to fall because they lost sight of where they came from. They forgot the struggles that shaped them, the people who supported them, and most importantly, the God who blessed them. Instead of being thankful, they became entitled. Instead of humbling themselves, they became proud. And when challenges came, they found themselves alone, disconnected from the very source that gave them success in the first place. Gratitude is the anchor that keeps you grounded. When you are thankful, you do not take your blessings for granted. You do not wake up and assume you deserve the air in your lungs, the food on your table, the opportunities before you. Instead, you wake up and say, "Thank you, Lord, for another day. Thank you for strength, for wisdom, for every moment that has led me here." And that attitude of gratitude keeps your heart open, your spirit humble, and your success meaningful. Think of a tree. A tree that forgets its roots will dry up and die. No matter how tall it stands, it must remain connected to the ground that nourishes it. And so it is with success. No matter how high you climb, you must remain connected to the source of your blessings. The moment you think you are self-made, the moment you believe you have achieved everything by your own power, you cut yourself off from the very foundation that holds you up. Gratitude is also a shield against envy and dissatisfaction. Many people have everything they once prayed for, yet they live in misery because they are too busy comparing their journey to someone else's. They are blessed, but they do not see it because they are focused on what they do not have instead of appreciating what they do. Gratitude opens your eyes to the abundance in your life. It shifts your perspective from I need more to I am already blessed. And when you live in that mindset, success is no longer just about what you achieve. It is about the joy, peace, and fulfillment that comes with recognizing God's hand in every part of your life. So, my friends, no matter where you are on your journey, do not forget gratitude. Do not wait until you have everything you dream of to say thank you. Start today. Be thankful for the lessons, for the struggles, for the small victories, because a grateful heart is a heart that remains connected to success, not just in wealth or achievements, but in faith, purpose, and peace. I have seen the mighty fall, not because they lacked talent, but because they forgot the very hands that shaped them. I have seen the forgotten rise, not because they were lucky, but because they walked with faith, with trust, with a purpose greater than themselves. The mighty can fall without God. Strength, power, and influence may seem invincible, but they are nothing without the one who grants them. The world has seen kings who ruled with iron fists, empires that stretched across nations, leaders who commanded thousands. Yet, history reminds us time and time again that without God, even the greatest can be brought to their knees. It does not matter how high you rise if your foundation is weak. A tall building may reach the clouds, but if its base is not firm, it will collapse under its own weight. Success without God is like a house built on sand. When the winds blow and the storms come, it cannot stand. It may appear strong, it may impress many, but the moment trouble arrives, its weakness is revealed. Pride is the beginning of the fall. The moment a person starts to believe they are self-made, that they do not need God, that their wisdom and effort alone have brought them to success, that is the moment they place themselves in danger. Power without humility is a dangerous thing. It blinds people to their limitations, making them believe they are above correction, above failure, above the very laws of nature. But no one is above God. No matter how high a person climbs, they will always be under the rule of the Almighty. Look around you. The greatest kingdoms in history have crumbled. Wealth that once overflowed has vanished. Names that once inspired fear and admiration have been forgotten. Where are they now? They built monuments for themselves. They sought to etch their legacy in stone, but their pride led to their downfall. And why? Because they placed their trust in their own strength instead of in the one who gave them life. But those who walk with God, they are sustained. They may stumble, they may face hardships, but they will not be utterly destroyed. Their success is not just about the power they hold, but about the purpose they serve. Their foundation is built on something eternal, something that no storm can shake. The fall of the mighty is not always sudden. Sometimes it is slow, almost unnoticeable. It begins with arrogance, with the belief that they no longer need guidance. It continues with small compromises, with decisions made out of selfish ambition rather than righteousness. And before they realize it, they are standing on unstable ground, their once great power slipping from their grasp. But it does not have to be this way. Those who remain humble, who acknowledge that all success comes from God, who use their power not for personal gain but for greater good, they are the ones who endure. Their strength is not in their wealth, their titles, or their influence. Their strength is in their faith, their obedience, their willingness to recognize that without God they are nothing. So let this be a reminder, no matter how far you go, No matter how successful you become, never forget who brought you there. Never let pride convince you that you stand alone, because without God, even the mighty can fall, but with God, even the lowly can rise. Faith leads to elevation. Now, when I say faith, I do not mean just words spoken in a moment of convenience. I mean the kind of faith that moves mountains, the kind that holds steady when the road gets rough, the kind that believes in the unseen even when everything around seems to be falling apart. Faith is not just an idea. It is a force, a power, a bridge between where you are and where you are destined to be. The elevation does not come by accident. It is not luck, nor is it coincidence. It is the result of a heart that trusts God completely, that walks in obedience, that believes there is a greater plan at work beyond what the eyes can see. When you have faith, you are not just hoping for success, you are walking in the certainty that God is leading you to it. Faith is what separates those who rise from those who remain stuck. Many people work hard, many have talent, many dream of more, but without faith, they are limited by what they can see. They make decisions based on fear. They hesitate at the edge of opportunity. They shrink back when challenges come. But those who have faith, they step forward even when the path is unclear. They take bold moves because they know that God is already ahead, preparing the way. Faith lifts you when everything else tells you to stay down. There will be moments when doubt whispers in your ear, when circumstances make success seem impossible, when every logical thought tells you to give up. But faith says keep going. Faith says what is meant for you cannot be taken away. Faith says with God all things are possible, and when you live in that truth, you rise. Look at the ones who have truly achieved lasting success, not just in wealth, but in peace, in purpose, in fulfillment. They are the ones who trusted in something greater than themselves. They are the ones who did not let failure define them, who did not let fear control them, who did not allow the opinions of others to limit them. They walked by faith, and in doing so, they were lifted beyond what they could have ever accomplished on their own. But faith is not passive. It is not just sitting and waiting for blessings to fall into your lap. No, faith requires action. Faith requires stepping out when you do not have all the answers, working when there is no immediate reward, believing even when there is no proof in sight. It is easy to have faith when everything is going well, but real faith is tested in the waiting, in the struggles, in the moments when you feel forgotten, and that, my friends, is when elevation begins. Because God does not just bless faith, He rewards it. He sees the ones who keep pushing forward, who trust Him in the unseen, who do not quit when the road gets rough, and when the time is right, He lifts them up in ways they never imagined. So if you want to rise, if you want to achieve success that lasts, let faith be your foundation. Do not let fear dictate your path. Do not let circumstances control your belief. Trust that God has a plan, that He is working even when you cannot see it, that every step of faith is leading you higher. And when you do, elevation is not just possible, it is inevitable. Success in this world is often measured in temporary things, wealth, status, power, recognition. People strive for years, sometimes their entire lives, to accumulate riches, to build a name, to achieve goals that will make them feel accomplished. But what happens when the money fades? What happens when the applause stops? What happens when the power shifts and the world moves on to the next big thing? If success is built only on earthly foundations, then it will not last. True success, the kind that withstands the test of time, is only found in God, because success with God is eternal. What does it mean for success to be eternal? It means that it is not bound by the limitations of this world. It is not defined by material things that can be lost, stolen, or destroyed. It is not dependent on human approval, which can change in an instant. Eternal success is success that carries beyond the here and now. It is success that holds meaning, purpose, and impact, not just for today, but for generations to come, and even beyond this life. Many people chase temporary success, believing that once they have reached a certain level of wealth or power, they will finally be satisfied. But temporary success is like a vapor. It appears for a moment and then vanishes. A person may spend years building a business, amassing fortune, and rising in social status, but if that success is built without God, it is like a house built on shifting sand. The moment a storm comes, an economic crash, a scandal, a betrayal, or even simply the passing of time, everything they worked for can disappear. And when that happens, they are left empty, searching for meaning, wondering where they went wrong. But success with God is different. It is not measured by how much you have, but by how much you have impacted others. It is not determined by your title, but by the purpose you have fulfilled. Success with God leaves a legacy, one that cannot be erased by time or circumstance. It is the kind of success that continues to bear fruit long after you are gone, because it was never just about you. It was about fulfilling a divine purpose that was bigger than you. Think of a tree that produces fruit. A tree does not just bear fruit for itself. It provides nourishment for others. It gives shade, it gives life, it reproduces, and even after it is gone, the seeds it planted continue to grow. That is what success with God looks like. It is not just about what you achieve for yourself, but what you leave behind that continues to bless others. It is not about how high you rise in the eyes of the world, but how deeply you impact the lives around you. Many of the wealthiest and most powerful people in history have come and gone. Their names were once spoken with reverence. Their influence stretched far and wide, yet today many of them are forgotten. Their wealth did not follow them beyond the grave. Their power did not carry into eternity. But those who built their success on God, those who walked in faith and lived for a purpose beyond themselves, those are the ones whose impact cannot be erased. Because success with God is not just about personal gain. It is about fulfilling His divine plan. It is about using what He has given you to serve, to uplift, to bring light into the world. It is about walking in obedience, trusting that even when the world does not recognize your efforts, God does. And when He blesses your success, it is a blessing that does not fade, does not diminish, does not get taken away by time or circumstances. A person who achieves success with God does not have to live in fear of losing it. They do not have to constantly chase after more, worried that what they have will not be enough. They walk in peace knowing that their success is not built on temporary things, but on an unshakable foundation. They do not have to rely on the opinions of others because their worth is not defined by the world. It is defined by the one who created them. Success with God is eternal because it is built on eternal values, faith, love, righteousness, purpose. It does not die when the body dies because its impact continues. It does not fade when wealth fades because it was never based on material things to begin with. It does not waver with changing times because God is the same yesterday, today, and forever. So if you are striving for success, do not just chase what is temporary. Do not settle for achievements that will disappear the moment you leave this earth. Build your success on something greater. Walk in purpose. Trust in God's plan. Serve, uplift, and create a legacy that will outlast your years. Because success with God is not just for today, it is for eternity. So I leave you with this truth. Success with God is temporary, fragile, and fleeting. It may dazzle for a moment, but it will not last. However, success with God is unshakable, unbreakable, and eternal. It is not built on wealth, power, or recognition, but on faith, obedience, and purpose. If you seek true success, seek God first. If you desire to rise, let Him be your foundation. If you want your work to matter beyond your years, align it with His will. Because when God is at the center of your success, No storm can wash it away. No enemy can steal it, and no time can erase it. So walk in faith, build with purpose, trust in his plan, and know that when your success is rooted in God, it is not just for this life, it is for eternity.